are.
Oh, God. It always ends on Fridays.
Uh-huh.
Have a writing sample to send into the Maritime Provinces Education Foundation. And
Now, what's this for?
well, I don't know. They want a writing sample, and in the sample, they want the children's writing from the grade 8s. So they're doing the grade 8 students all across the Maritimes.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having a writing portfolio, they want samples, 3 genres of writing, and a business letter indicating their piece of writing they like best and the reason why, and a little bit of background information on themselves. So I have no problem with that, gave my kids lots of latitude. But in this letter, there was a form letter, and then there was a set of instructions.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, in the business letter that they sent, or the memo, they wanted all these things. And then they had, here's what we expect of the students, now here's what we expect of the teacher. Now, in the letter, they said, you will not be asked to evaluate your children's work.
Right.
And I wasn't going to send any marks to them of anything that I evaluated anyway, because the way I evaluate is different than anyone else.
Okay.
And, but in this set of instructions that they sent, then they said they want me to arrange the children's work, 2 from the top, 2 from the middle, and 2 from the bottom. Well, I have 11 students in grade 8, because I have a split grade.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have 2, 4, 6, I'm leaving 5 kids out. That's the way I felt about it anyway. And I don't range their work. I don't have them on a class norm in terms of writing in the writing workshop. So the more I thought about this, and I talked to someone else, another teacher, and he said, oh yeah, I did it, no problem. And I said, no, I can't do this. It's philosophically against the way I feel about the way writing takes place in the context of my classroom anyway. And the letter was contradictory. I wrote a business letter to them. Oh, I was steaming on Thursday. I was just cooking with gas. I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time Friday came around, and our principal now is the administrator of what? Human Relations, Superintendent of Administration. He's busy, he's caught between 2 jobs, and he isn't in the school a lot. So I can't talk to him about that, and I really want to talk to him about, oh gosh, maybe I'm being a little too forceful in this letter. I would rather have your blessing before I sent this letter on, or could you give me a little bit of background information? So here I am on Friday, I'm just like, got all the things in there, and I gave my kids lots of latitude,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm stuck because of a flaw. So I'm really, really uncomfortable with sending these things without his approval. Yet I don't know if he's going to be in school Monday, so I really got to get a hold of him.
Okay, so you've mentioned feelings of anger.
That's strong. Anger's strong.
Did you say you were indignant with the
Yeah.
request, or?
Yeah, I don't know their motives. I don't know their motives or their mandate, and unless I know when I start putting my students' things on the line, and the way I see the philosophy of the writing workshop on the line, with what I see as opposing it,
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to take that and quantify it, well, at least you give me the parameters in which you're going to quantify it. Don't give me some vague, ambiguous letter about what this writing assessment control panel, or I don't know what it is going to do with it.
Yeah.
And not give me any background information as a teacher. I feel like they're going to take control of the situation once again, and the 2 camps are going to polarize. Once again, we're going to have the whole language versus we've got to have this many standards by the time students reach grade 8, or they're not developing as human beings or something. And
So you're worried about what they're going to be using this information for?
yes, this information could be potentially conflicting with all the work that I felt I've done up until this point.
So you think maybe it's a difference in philosophy too, you're just not sure? You
Yeah,
can't get that information?
Yeah, and I feel that I have to turn to my administrator to do that, and right now I'm between a rock and a hard place because he plays 2 roles. And he's caught between a rock and a hard place because he plays 2 roles. So here I am sitting here, okay, what do you do?
So you're frustrated, would you say?
Frustrated, definitely frustrated.
And how?
And resentful at the fact that they can send this letter, and they say, we want this, 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 and this, and this, and you'll have it sent by this date, and we'll be reviewing it, but nothing comes back. Nothing comes back about, these are some of the findings. Basically, what I would think that would come back is like, basically grade 8 students like to write about themselves.
Mm.
Grade 8 students, maybe they will come to those conclusions. I certainly hope they do.
Well, how did you
But
feel?
I'm thinking maybe they want to get standards, maybe children should know how to do this, when they're not taking, where I take, my philosophy is, I have a philosophical base of, you take the students, and that's what I put in the letter, I have the students as individuals, and they set their own goals through the year, based on what we all talk about in terms of growth, and what they see, and in the writing sharing, they listen to what other people write about, and they listen to other people's stories, and then they can, without making a formal evaluation, they can then restructure or reset whatever they're doing to make themselves better, and they seem to be very comfortable with that, and it works.
Yeah.
And I'm just so, well, maybe, here I go, I invest all this time and effort into developing this in these children, and all of a sudden, zap, okay, here we're gonna have these standards in writing workshop. By the end of grade 8, you'll have to write one play, and this and this and this, so they're gonna standardize the writing process.
So you're worried about the consequences, do you think you could say?
Yeah, I'm
Of what you're
skeptical.
you're skeptical about what they're gonna use the for.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the wording again, because they said in the original letter that it was not gonna be used.
You are not, you do not evaluate their work.
Right.
Okay, and that was in the first part of the letter. Then in the instructions part, they said, you will range their work,
Mhm.
T equals 2 for the top,
Mhm.
M equals 2 for the middle, B 2 at the bottom end.
Okay, well, let's think about different, what they might possibly mean by that. Because I think maybe you can look at it from a negative point of view, which
Sure.
is your worries and your fears.
Yeah.
But what else might that possibly mean? Like, can you see other
Yeah.
reasons for asking 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom and 2 from the middle? If they're not
Yeah,
evaluating,
I know.
they're not asking for your evaluation, but they're
They're
asking.
asking my opinion on who I think is a top student, who I think is a middle student, who I think is a lower end student.
But is it who or what type of work you can expect from the
Well,
top?
that's what I wasn't clear on.
Okay.
Because I have top level students who haven't really grown as writers in terms of taking on and really meeting
Right.
their potential. Of course, that's my judgment
So they're
again, too.
really
I have to be
asking,
careful.
yeah, but would you say that letter was asking for your judgment?
Yeah.
So if it's
I'd
asking
have
for
to
your
pass
judgment, okay, so if they're asking for your judgment, about 2
I
from
just-
the top, 2 from the bottom, 2 from the middle,
Yeah.
and every teacher is asked simply in those terms,
Mhm.
then it should be all right.
Should
But
be.
you're just worried that it won't be.
Should be.
Should be. That's why you wanted to send this letter.
Right, and that's, I guess that's, and it might be too strong, and that's what I want to have confirmed with him.
All right, so tell
my-
us about the letter.
Okay. Enclosed are, let's see, 11 writing samples of my students' work that they have chosen, underline they, because they said you could help them choose. I said, I'm letting them choose what they want to put in. I read them the letter, and I gave them what their responsibility was. So that they have chosen. The reason, I basically gave the reason that I only have 11 samples is because I teach a split class, and they're called the band class.
Mhm.
Then I said, regarding your request to range students' work top, middle, and bottom, I'm not going to do it. I find it contradictory in nature and I cited the part in the letter, and I quoted the part in the letter. And then I gave my philosophy. I said, in my writing workshop, this is what we do. It's an individualized approach. And also I need there's a certain amount of risk-taking involved when you write. In order to get children involved in the process, they have to let go a little bit. And to be judgmental would be very damaging.
Very damaging.
And we've all agreed to this,
Yeah.
and it works. I didn't say exactly that it worked, but I hope they assumed it worked. that to norm reference or group reference their work would be
Wrong.
wrong for me based on my philosophy, and I felt strongly enough about it
Mhm.
that I wasn't going to do it. But then in the next paragraph I said, if you feel you must do so, then do it. However, I would appreciate some information on the goals and objectives of this committee
Mhm.
and your mandate.
Yeah, well, I would say then what you've done is you've been able to ask them for the clarification that you need.
Yeah.
And not being able to speak with your principal has made it awkward.
I
And
had to,
wish-
yeah, well, they're thinking, oh
But I
gosh.
mean, even he probably wouldn't be able to say, it's this or it's that.
No, I know, but maybe, should I send him looking for answers before
Well,
I send it?
well-
Maybe he could shed a little light, and this is the thing, like,
And if he can't, then that's, you still need to get some light shed, right?
yeah,
So perhaps your letter,
my letter slowed me down.
well, that maybe it
But that's
got
good.
you to think.
Yes,
And maybe you
because
could rephrase your letter so that you can still find this out without.
being negative or nasty. Me?
Well, no, but your
Yeah.
interest here, what, I mean,
But you know, here, the frustration is
Yeah.
that I don't have a principal to go to at a time where,
you need them.
yeah, right away, you know how you have to have them there, and it's really amazing how you come to terms with things like, yeah, you do need that other person that is in that position, because he might have to come to defend me, and I don't want him to do so unprepared, and if not knowing that I even sent the darn letter, it could come back to haunt him, which in turn could come back to haunt the school.
Is
And I
there
don't want that.
anywhere else you can go for clarification on this? Is there a
I
language
suppose it-
arts group or a?
Well, I could go to Jeanette and Kathy Parsons, but it just didn't come to me till Thursday, and I thought, well, I want to try it on Ricky first, because he's the person you turn to.
He's
So,
the top gun at your school.
yeah, and he gives us lots of latitude. That's what I really like about his administrating. Okay, you have a base. If I feel I hired you, I feel confident enough in your abilities, you go with it. And
So what do you
But-
think he'd tell you?
I don't know. I don't know what's.
Would he talk to you about maybe what the purposes of the test were?
Yeah,
If he-
I would hope that he would be able to shed
A
some
little
light
more light, yeah.
on what the final product is that's gonna come out of this.
And if he was able to tell you that, from the sounds of things, they just need an idea from across Canada or across the Maritimes.
That's
Of-
the National Indicators
Yeah.
Project.
Like if
This
that's
is
the
relating
tie-
to that.
Yeah, okay, well, if that's the tie-in, and that what they need to know is what teachers are asking from kids and what kids are giving back. And that's
Yes.
all they wanna know.
I hope,
Could you feel more comfortable with going ahead with this?
yeah. Yeah.
2 from the top, 2 from the bottom, 2 in
Yeah.
the middle, and feel that your results are not going to be used for anything that would endanger the program the way you've been doing it.
Yeah, but I'm almost insulted at the fact that it seems so vague. I said, the nature of your vague request. I said, since we are in the process of communication, well, do you think we could communicate with one another a little better, basically?
So have you mailed this letter yet?
No.
You're just holding
Well,
on
I'm
to it.
holding it. I said, maybe he'll show up Monday. It's due the 15th. We'll see.
Well, I think you've probably got a fairly good handle maybe on what you might do. And I
Yeah.
think, I understand you wanting to talk it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I want to bounce it off someone and say, okay,
Yeah.
what would you do in this situation? But then really, I guess it's what would I do? Maybe what should I really do? And if I'm questioning, there's something wrong, so. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay,